Who's driving?
Upon arrest,
You have any idea where you are right now?
it's hard to find the courage of one's convictions,
Have you slid on in here, man?
particularly when those convictions involve felonies.
One more going to prison.
For what? You on parole right now?
Yeah.
Are you?
August Romero
What are you on parole for?
DUI, actually.
Oh, okay.
lived in a constant state of deja vu. Arrest, conviction, parole, new arrest, like this one in 2022.
January 22nd, 2024, speaking with Mr. August Romero.
Last year, he served his time and told the parole board
I just gotta stay motivated and focused.
he would turn his life around. 2 months later,
What started out as a hit and run is now a homicide investigation.
Westminster police say Romero didn't turn at all. When following an argument, he drove over Robbie Valenzuela.
Who was Robbie?
Robbie is my husband.
Yvette Valenzuela met Robbie when the two were in their teens.
I have lots of anger. I absolutely do. I have a lot of anger.
We went through a lot of trials and tribulations together.
Vince Rodriguez lost his best friend that night.
Every time we'd see each other, it was always a handshake and a hug of, good to see you, brother.
Until I told him they didn't know 8 days before the murder.
Oh. 8 days prior.
A Colorado parole officer concluded August Romero, a 7-time felon, was little more than low risk to reoffend.
I'm angry. But I know he wouldn't want me to be angry. But his life was taken way too soon by someone that didn't deserve to be out here.
This is how the state of Colorado assesses the risk of those on parole, a form with several questions that lead to scores, 7 sections in all. The more points, the more risk.
It's the idea if you're high risk, you should get more intervention. If you're low risk, you should get less intervention.
In Omaha, we met a professor of criminology who advises states on how to do this. Zachary Hamilton says good assessments lead to good levels of supervision.
And that way, you're not giving people too much or too little supervision or too much or too little programming. 9
News Investigates spent more than a year assessing Colorado's assessments after first spotting what we thought was an isolated error within one, done on behalf of a repeat felon named Vincenzo Moscoso. Section 5.5. Has drug use caused problems with employment? No, answered the parole officer. Remarkable, considering the notes below clearly showed Moscoso disclosed periods of unemployment due to substance abuse.
That discrepancy is pretty blatant user error.
Denver police say 5 months after that incorrect score, Moscoso got on a bus and slashed a stranger's throat.
In Colorado right now, you got a parole board?
The more we looked, the more errors we found. James Neal, 1.8. No, never absconded or walked away while on parole. 0 points. Not true. His own records show he absconded twice in 2020. While on parole in 2023, Neal killed a man in Douglas County. Corey Allen, now accused of attempted murder. 5.5. No drug use, job problems. 0 points. In the notes,
Allen is regularly using cocaine but still working full-time.
Yeah, that does seem like a pretty blatant contradiction.
some scores shouldn't change over time, but we found some did repeatedly. Tallulah Davis, 1.2, adult felony convictions. In 2022, he had 1 point. 2 years later, none, 0 points.
What does this tell you?
It tells me that the individual that's completing it in 2024 probably wasn't going through their criminal record in detail.
Davis, police believe, took part in a murder while on parole. Then there is the case.
Who is Jason Ray?
That would be my brother.
The case of Jessica Wilkerson's brother.
How much time do you think he spent in prison?
A good close to probably almost 30 years.
Earlier this year, while on parole, Jason Ray, police say, pointed a gun at them.
How'd you find out he got shot?
I was watching the news, and I said, man, I just hope that isn't your Uncle Jay.
Ray survived. I showed Wilkerson his assessment scores.
Wow. 0 points.
Section 7, Criminal Attitudes and Behaviors. Somehow, a parole officer scored a man with more than 60 priors. Nothing but zeros.
7-6. Really? Walks away from a fight.
Is that your brother?
I've never seen him walk away from a fight.
Watch out of my way.
Which brings us back to where this story began. The night Robbie Valenzuela died under a truck,
76 to
he too was on parole.
He had 2 jobs, actually. He was doing really good. He worked.
His wife and best friend say Robbie took parole seriously, didn't reoffend, had no reason to.
2022.
I showed them the 2 assessments of the man now accused of murdering Robbie. The errors on August Romero's assessments are almost too many to quantify. 2.2, ever suspended from school. 2022, yes, 1 point. 2024, no points.
How do you go from dropping out of school to not dropping out of school? How does that change?
5.1, age started drinking regularly. 2022, under the age of 17, 1 point. 2024, 0 points. And then there's section 7, criminal behavior and attitude. In 2022, 7 points. In 2024, 0.
I don't understand how a person goes from such high points to low points.
In 2022, after DOC added the numbers in each of the sections, it scored Romero at 32 points, good enough for high risk to reoffend. Last year, that new assessment and a very different score, no more than 9 points, low risk. 8 days later, police believe he killed Yvette's husband.
It's difficult to wake up every day and know that he's no longer here.
Colorado Department of Corrections declined our request for a on-camera interview. Instead, we were sent a lengthy statement. It suggests, while important, the assessments in question are not predictive and often interpreted in context. It also appears the state has no real idea of just how big of a problem this is because it has yet to conduct an audit of it. This story already has the attention of the state legislature. Tomorrow we'll tell you how it's been received there. Chris Vanderveen, 9 News.